Well, hello there, everyone. It's a super busy Saturday. It's October 15th. We're going to talk about hockey, my favorite sport. So doing a lot of work on the NHL algorithm, and on Monday, not today, not tomorrow, but Monday, we're going to import 2022 and 23, this current season stats into everywhere. And after I do that, projections are going to change and it's going to be a little bit distorted in the beginning, but it will be better and it will provide us with a little bit more intelligence than the odds makers would get, and that common consensus would yield, because a lot of people always look at a team the way they played last year when it's early in the season this year. So as we get in current stats for the season, a lot of things are going to be distorted because it's early on and there's only a few games, but we're going to see something like maybe Detroit is really playing a lot better with Ville Husso this year. So there's interesting things that will happen, and it might give us an edge in terms of being able to pick teams with better lines because we might have more current information. So that'll be fun. You can subscribe to the NHL algorithm and get a daily email from me for the rest of the month of October. You know, it's more than 2 weeks every day, and also the how-to tutorial of how to update the file yourself in conjunction with subscription to RotoWire to get statistics. And you'll be on your way, and I'll explain how all these things work. And $75 for the rest of the month, because there's a lot of work that's going into this, but should be awesome. It's been going well so far. As you can see, a 3-in-1 day on Friday. Tampa Bay game, almost exact score predicted. Detroit, this was an under. I did win that under wager here in this game. Martin St. Louis kept the score under with Montreal. Rangers did not win. A couple late empty net goals for Winnipeg makes this a much higher projected score game than actually happened. So that's something I think is going to fix itself up once we get current season stats in here. And Carolina wins, but they don't cover, which hurt if you had them to cover like I did. Missed an empty net opportunity and stuff, but still won. So it's 3-in-1 day. Now, a lot of games today. We're getting this started right in the beginning, where Florida and Buffalo are going on right now. It's not over. It's 3-2 right now, I think, in like the second or third period. Now, so we won't worry too much about that game. So I want to open some stuff up and talk about things that are working and not working right now. The goalie status is correct. These games are really not happening yet. The power projected score is ridiculous. And these things here are all screwed up because of what's going on with stats. And the pick rank is actually screwed up. And it's taking into account streaking history, but it's not right because some teams haven't played any games at all. So we're actually going to hide all of this, except for back-to-back game. That's important. We're going to lead back-to-back game because we'd like to know that. Because it is true that playing back-to-back, you are a little more tired. Sometimes you have a secondary goalie going as well on the second night in a row. So when there's a yes here, that team should be discounted a little bit, and they're not discounted in the formula. They're not penalized for having a back-to-back game, but it's something that you should just notice as you're handicapping it yourself when you're looking. So, like I said, this game's going on right now. We won't worry about it because it's too late to talk about, but it says Florida wins. Here, all right, so what we want to look at is we want to not look at this. We want to look at projected score, and we want to look at adjusted power. High adjusted powers means a strong team, and big differential in scoring projection means a distorted game. So it says Philadelphia loses to Vancouver here, and Vancouver's a 46%. Well, 46% is not one of the top tier teams on this list. You can see Toronto's a 62, Pittsburgh's a 56, Washington's a 63, Nashville's a 63, 65 here for Calgary. There's a lot of higher ranked adjusted power teams. So is Philadelphia so bad that you have to take Vancouver? And the answer is almost yes. That's what it says. But Philadelphia came out and beat New Jersey the first game of the season, and we're not incorporating that properly in this prediction if they are playing better this year, even though they've got a lot of no-name guys. So kind of a tougher game to pick when you look at all those factors. Neither of these teams, both are rested. So I don't actually know what to do there because I'm thinking about the current season a little bit as I'm talking about this. Now here, this would say take Boston -1.5, maybe even -2.5. Well, it says -1.5 will win here. The difference between these is 2 points. Actually, does says that they would cover 2.5 as well, barely. So it says like 5-2. Arizona has provided no reason to think that they're going to do anything good, especially on the road in Boston. While they're not playing at their college rink, they're going into Boston, a team that beat Washington already this year. So this would have a very strong, even though the power of Boston is only 40, that's surprising. But Arizona really is bad. So I will take Boston -1.5. You're not going to get paid. That's tough, actually. -330 is ugly hockey line, but they're probably going to win that game. Toronto and Ottawa. So here you have a stronger Toronto team. Ottawa lost the game to Buffalo to start off the season. Samsonov, goaltenders. So pretty strong power. Says they win by over 2 goals. Says they cover the 1.5. Okay. That line's a little better for the -1.5 for Toronto. But Toronto will screw you. Detroit and New Jersey. Very close game here, and a back-to-back game for Detroit that just beat Montreal with Ville Husso in net, not Nedkovic. I don't know, Nedeljkovic. I think it's Nedkovic, but I'm not sure. So I think that the lack of Ville Husso in this game even further points this in but New Jersey lost to Philadelphia to start there, but Vanacek is going in this game. Tough game. Can almost predict I want to bet the tie in this game. That's what the algorithm says. The algorithm says it's 4-4. So keep that in mind. But Detroit being on back-to-back means you probably lose that game. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. Wow. That's a close one. This should be a good game. So this is definitely a tie. 7% difference here. You can see that the adjusted power percentage is only a 4% difference here, but it's a 7 here. So this game's actually supposed to be a tie more than this one. This one's actually be a lower scoring tie you'd think than this one, but the goalies are good. Anyway, whatever. It says tie here. Says Pittsburgh wins slightly, and it's a back-to-back game for Tampa Bay, which might put it over the top in Pittsburgh there. So it's thinking Pittsburgh wins in overtime or maybe wins before overtime. But this is a better tie bet, it looks like. All right. Montreal and Washington. Back-to-back game for Montreal. Coming here, Washington. What time is this game? This game's at 7. My kid has a hockey game today that we're going to, so we can't go to this one. But it says the Caps 6-1. It says they put up goals on mountain blows expected. St. Louis got a team that's got some heart, though. Tough. I don't know. The Caps are 0-2 this season, desperate for a win. You can see why this line is minus 300. They're probably going to tee off on Montreal and get some goals, though, because of the way the Caps shoot at home. Islanders and Anaheim. Not very strong teams, but says the Islanders win 5-3 with Gibson expected, and Sorokin, who's got a good rating here. So says they cover the 1.5, but I've got friends who say John Gibson doesn't give up a lot of goals. You always take the under in John Gibson games. So we'll see. But does say that the Islanders win this game. Columbus and St. Louis. First time I believe we're seeing St. Louis this year. And 5-4 over Columbus, a back-to-back game for Columbus. Binnington going. Not great, tough lines, right? Be very interesting to see current season stats in here. It's the only way you're going to get some value in lines. Here you got Nashville and Dallas again. Didn't they just play, except they switched cities? Soup under, right? They always do the under with the Nashville game. That game's over-under is 5.5 to 6. Wow, if you can get an alternate under of 6 for sure. I mean, it says exactly 6, but you have Ottinger confirmed. It's probably Saros again because these guys didn't have to play back-to-back games. Expect an under again. Alternate under 6 because the game's too close to call a little bit there. But does say Nashville would barely win. LA and Minnesota, very close by adjusted power. And says Minnesota gets it by goals. So 4-5. That doesn't quite say a tie, but does say a tie here. So doesn't say that Minnesota is worthy of a -170, as you can see how close it is. So LA plus 1.5 would be what Yeah, because that covers that there too. 5-4 LA win and it's the +1.5. At a +150, that's pretty close to what the algorithm is saying to set to do. Minnesota going to want to win at home, but they just lost to the Rangers, right? They did score some goals. Calgary and Edmonton, really? So the projected score disagrees with the adjusted power, which is also close. Good goaltending out of Jack Campbell on Edmonton. It says a tie here. No, it doesn't. It says 5-4 Edmonton, but now it's too close to call. Too close to call. It's going to be a coin flip game, it looks like. So, but it does say over. And I bet you the over is probably what, 6.5? 7. 7. They made it 7 already because this did 8.9. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Even with this good goaltending. Well, my scores are a little high in this year's version. So the under 7, don't listen to me. No, that's a tough game. Vegas and Seattle. I like more, I said the L word, but I like Seattle more this season from what I've seen. And you can see they're +110 because Vegas lost a game and Seattle has been scoring more. So close game. Well, I think last season stats are hurting us on this prediction because I like Seattle here. Chicago and San Jose. Okay, San Jose back-to-back game, but Chicago's pretty bad. So San Jose is getting a favored line, but look at how bad these teams are. Says there are going to be goals here. So the over-under in that game is 6. Yeah, over 6, right? Because it's got 8.3 goals, and you look at somebody at least getting to 4, which means probably 4-2 or better. So the over 6 in that game. All right, I know it's a long video, but we're gonna get this thing going. Get ready for Monday. The next hockey video will be Monday. I'm not gonna do one tomorrow. Just sending it out to those that subscribe. But Monday, when we get all the current season stats in here, it's gonna be really interesting to look at. And that will be a private video or just a recap video, and I'll send out the version to those who subscribe because I don't want to put that out before the game's on Monday and going forward. All right. So good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. See ya.